Good evening. How you doing? We've got that 9 weeks test coming right on up on Tuesday, as you know, and so I wanted to go ahead and finish these last questions that we had. They have a question here where they're describing a little bit of genetic engineering, where you take genes that are desirable from one organism and you would go ahead and put them in another organism to get a desired effect. Now, they might do this, they certainly do this a lot with plants. They've got strains of plants that have been genetically engineered that can produce their own pesticides. They've got some that can flourish in low water conditions. It's sort of an economic deal. I mean, they're trying to make some money on this stuff, and so they go in and they do a little bit of splicing of the genes and insert a gene that would produce a desired effect. The next question is talking about the cell theory, the 3 parts of cell theory. Let's see. Everything alive has cells. That's number 1. Number 2, the cell is the basic unit of life. And number 3, all cells come from pre-existing cells. So that third one is like, cells just don't jump up and appear out of anywhere. They actually come from predecessor cells. Light microscopes. When you use a light microscope, you have to slice the specimen so thin, and then typically you dye it, and the specimen is ruined as far as living because you got to slice it so thin. Hey Layla, how you doing? My pup dog came by and see us. Let's see. Yeah. It's a staining. Now, I did say that living organisms cannot be observed, but maybe I better back off on that one. You see protozoa, they're still alive. Now, it says, if it says all specimens must be stained before viewing them, I'd back off that one too. When you're taking these tests, you see the words all, or you see the words never. These are words that are absolutes. There's very few absolutes in the world. And so when you see all, just stay away from all. Stay away from never. Certainly if you have not had that bit of content given to you. One of the problems with a light microscope is it becomes fuzzy as you start to go at higher magnification and higher magnification, higher magnification. The resolution, they call it the resolution, decreases. The next one, let's see what we got here. Somatic cells, that's a body cell. The somatic cell is under control. We don't totally understand as to why it does its cell cycle, especially the part about why does it decide to go divide. It's living its lifestyle, whatever kind of cell it is, it's living its lifestyle, and then at some point there's some trigger, and it goes ahead and divides. It gets some sort of signal, I'm not sure, and we're not sure how, but we certainly, if we've got an issue with that trigger, we end up with a cancer cell tumor. That's basically what cancer is. It's one of your cells that's uncontrollably dividing, that has lost its way as far as moderation and as far as the timeliness of division. Really? Okay. It's during most cell division there are factors that limit cell growth and further division. I would say cancer cells. I would say cancer cell doesn't know what limitations are. They just start dividing whether they're called upon to do so or not, or whether there's enough room for them to do so, or whether there's, enough of a nutrient bath coming to them, or, I'd say cancer cells are definitely out of control, and they do not know the normal limitations that other cells do know. If you cut your finger, you're going to need new cells. You get that through the process of mitosis, Remember, there's two processes: mitosis and meiosis. Well, the mito, think of a toe. I'm replacing some toe cells. So if you're just replacing body cells, it's mitosis. We talked a lot about cellular respiration and photosynthesis and how they feed off one another, and the products of cellular respiration, that's the CO2 and the water, are certainly used as the reactants in photosynthesis, just like the glucose. And the oxygen is certainly used as reactants in the cellular respiration area. CO2 plus H2O in the presence of light and chlorophyll yields C6H12O6 plus H2O plus O2. And then on the flip side, on the respiration side, it's C6H12O6 plus O2 yields within a cell through a series of processes. And you can basically say CO2 plus H2O plus energy. I think that would be good enough. And that second one was the cellular respiration. When you see cellular respiration, you need to start off with glucose. When you see photosynthesis, you end with glucose on the product side. So, there's no way they can trick you. Cellular respiration, you have to start off with glucose. We got those words aerobic and anaerobic. If, you go to an exercise club and they go, okay, we're going to do some aerobic exercises, they're talking about doing maybe some walking in place and maybe some, bicycling at a decent speed, maybe some slow swimming. And the idea behind aerobic exercise is that your breath and the replacement of oxygen in your blood can stay up with the amount of glucose being burned, and you can just continue it. I mean, can you walk a mile? Yeah. Can you run a mile? Better pace yourself, because as soon as you go to anaerobic, that's like doing push-ups. Get down and do push-ups. I don't care if you do 10, 5, 25, 35. At some point, you're going to go, can't do anymore. So you went to anaerobic respiration to power the energy of your muscle cells. Sprint. Try sprinting around the whole track, a couple hundred yards down the thing. You're probably going to come up and go, hold on, I need to walk for a minute. Well, you entered anaerobic cellular respiration at some point. And, you got yourself some issues. It's an oxygen issue. Aerobic, anaerobic, it's all oxygen. Okay, and yes. Well, photosynthesis, product side, oxygen. You should know that. Read the question carefully. Photosynthesis, product side, oxygen. In the overall equation for photosynthesis, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide and 6 molecules of water result in a molecule of sugar and 6 molecules of which of the following compounds? Water, oxygen. I'd probably go with oxygen there. 29 scientists are hypothesizing skin to sunlight may result in the development of skin cancer. Why not all people who spend time in the sun develop skin cancer? Observation of human populations and experiments with cell cultures have provided evidence to support that sunlight exposure does increase the risk for development of skin cancer. I read this thing, and so the scientists have done a lot of study, and they find that folks that have increased their exposure to the sun have an increased risk of skin cancer. It doesn't say that everybody with extra exposure to the sun will get skin cancer, and that's not saying that people don't really go out there and become sun goddesses and laying in the sun are immune from skin cancer. I think that the correct statement would be overexposure to the sunlight will result in an increased risk of skin cancer. I think that's where you got to go there. Okay, this one is just saying, hey, do plants do photosynthesis? Yeah, they do so. And at night, do they do photosynthesis? No. So what do? Well, their cells do cellular respiration. They do cellular respiration, and you would expect to see a releasing of carbon dioxide by the plants because they're burning their own glucose. The plants don't do the let's make glucose for other heterotrophs to come by and eat it. They don't do that. But they do use glucose to power their own cells. Are plant cells living? Yes. Do they need energy? Yes. Okay. Just the word semi-permeable. Man, think of that egg. That egg. Then we got that naked egg. It doesn't have any shell on it. It'll let the water in or let the water out depending upon the outside environment. But it holds onto the lipids and it holds onto the proteins and it holds onto the nucleic acids. It doesn't allow them to pass through. So that's semi-permeable. It's a membrane that will allow only certain molecules to pass through while holding others back. How many times we've been over that? If you're going to make proteins, you're going to find lots of ribosomes. If your cell uses a lot of energy, you're going to find a lot of mitochondria. That's kind of if you're a cell that produces a lot of, let's say, mucus, which is it's got to export out that mucus, you find a lot of Golgi bodies. So the next question is just you just have to link the ribosomes with the proteins, and the Golgi bodies with the packaging of excretions, and mitochondria with the high use energy. Mitochondrion. There's another one. Mitochondrion is energy. You got that one. Well, now they just give you the old eukaryote versus prokaryote. Look for a nucleus. If it's got a nucleus, eukaryotic. No nucleus, prokaryotic. Now, it'll still have DNA. It may be in the form of RNA. I should say it'll still have nucleic acids. But it won't be wrapped up in a nucleus. You'll see some ribosomes. Ribosomes are microscopic bodies, So, eukaryote, got to have a nucleus. Prokaryote, no nucleus. What's the difference between plant and animal cells? A big difference. Well, you know that the plant cell has a cell wall and the animal cell doesn't. And you also know that the plant cells have a different pathway for obtaining their nutrients. Let's see, method. I think that's what method of obtaining the nutrients, method of getting the calories. That's what I'd say. Method. It's the method. And you know something? That's it. 35 questions on that guy. It'll be on Tuesday. Good luck, kids. Make me proud.